grade fives! Thanks for joining me for some math today. I am going to get started. We have 3 pages to work through today, and in that we are going to be working on some measurement, some geometry, some mixed fractions, and some more than one whole. So on that note, grab your math and let's get going. Okay, now I'm going to do Thursday with you guys. So this is Thursday's math. I'm going to start with my daily math. This is measurement. Joe's field measures 4.8 kilometers long and 2.3 kilometers wide. How much fencing will he need in order to surround his property? Now we are not multiplying here. We are adding, basically. I mean, you can multiply and add, but what you're doing is this is his property. You're imagining it. He's got 4.8 kilometers this way, 4.8. Okay, and then we have 2.3 and 2.3. So the formula for perimeter is 2 length plus 2 width. Okay, so it's 2 of the length and 2 of the width. So we're gonna, or we could just add 4.8, 4.8, 2.3, 2.3. And since I want to practice adding decimals with you guys, let's do it. So remember, adding decimals is just like adding the, just like adding regular numbers. You just have this little handy dandy dot in the middle. Okay, so 4.8 and 2.3, I could add those together. You did it. You're done for the week for math. Okay, good job. Know that I will be back on Monday with more math. Let me know if this workload was a little bit more manageable. So I had been hearing from some of you that the math and ELA, there's just a lot. So I hope that this was a bit more manageable for you this week, okay? So let me know so I know what to do for next week. But I think that this was a little bit better, because there was one week where I made a math video and it was over an hour long, and I thought, that's a lot of math. So I don't want to burn you out on math. I want you to enjoy this. Let me know how it's going. Remember, you can use the class notebook function in Teams to submit your assignment. Okay? Have a great day. I'll see you on Monday for more math. You did it. You're done for the week for math. Okay, good job. Know that I will be back on Monday with more math. Let me know if this workload was a little bit more manageable. So I had been hearing from some of you that the math and ELA, there's just a lot. So I hope that this was a bit more manageable for you this week, okay? So let me know so I know what to do for next week. But I think that this was a little bit better, because there was one week where I made a math video and it was over an hour long, and I thought, that's a lot of math. So I don't want to burn you out on math. I want you to enjoy this. Let me know how it's going. Remember, you can use the class notebook function in Teams to submit your assignment. Okay? Have a great day. I'll see you on Monday for more math. You did it. You're done for the week for math. Okay, good job. Know that I will be back on Monday with more math. Let me know if this workload was a little bit more manageable. So I had been hearing from some of you that the math and ELA, there's just a lot. So I hope that this was a bit more manageable for you this week, okay? So let me know so I know what to do for next week. But I think that this was a little bit better, because there was one week where I made a math video and it was over an hour long, and I thought, that's a lot of math. So I don't want to burn you out on math. I want you to enjoy this. Let me know how it's going. Remember, you can use the class notebook function in Teams to submit your assignment. Okay? Have a great day. I'll see you on Monday for more math. All right, so I made a mistake with my simple addition, and I am editing it out because it's just confusing. So 8 and 3 is 11. So I'm going to put a 1 in this spot and then a 1 up there, because it's like you have 1 and 1/10 here. Now I'm going to add all of these together. 4 and 1 is 5, 6, 7. 7.1, let's do 7.1 plus 7.1 equals 14.2. So he needs 14.2 kilometers of fencing. 14.2 km. That's a lot of fencing. All right, number 2, how many decades is in 40 years? Oh, I'm going to zoom out so you can actually see it. How many decades is in 40 years? there are 4 decades. A decade is 10. There are 4 decades in 40 years. Number 3, what time is it? Okay, so we look, all right, it's after 6, not quite 7. It's definitely after 6 though. So 6, 5, 10, 15. It is 6:15. Okay, number 5, each side of the square measures to be 4 centimeters. Okay, what would the perimeter be if the sides were increased by 2 centimeters each? So each side, so 4 centimeters is what it is. Each side is increased by 2, so each side is going to be 6 centimeters. So you go 6 times 4. What's 6 times 4? 24. Okay, and that is centimeters. That is your perimeter. And that's if you had 6, 6, 6, and 6. 6, 6, 6, 6. Okay, number 4, 163 centimeters is how many meters? 163 centimeters is 1.63 meters. That's because there's 100 centimeters in a meter, so you just move that decimal point over 1, 2 spaces to get to where you need to go. Okay, on to the geometry for today. So today, which 3D figures does this object look like? It looks like a cube. Okay, number 2, a rhombus is a polygon with how many sides? A rhombus is a polygon with 4, oh, I've done that wrong, 4 sides. A rhombus is another name for that shape. Most of you call it a diamond. Okay, so it's another shape, another name for a diamond. Now the next one that we're going to work on is this a net for a cube possible? So I want you to try and imagine if you were to fold this up, cut it up, and try to make it into a cube. Do you think that would work? Do you think that would work? I don't think it would, because thank you. Okay, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'd make like a 1, 2, 3, 4, but then these 2 are going to line up to the same place. One of these squares needs to be over here. Now if you'd like to try and cut out a shape like this and try and make it into a cube, you could try and figure out a way to cut a shape like this and then fold it into a cube. That is not the way though. An angle of 120 degrees is called right, acute, or obtuse. So think about the angles that we have learned. So we learned that acute is less than 90. So then less than 90. So that's like that's less than 90. A right angle is 90 degrees. It is like the corner of a table. It is a sharp corner. It is 90 degrees. Not 91, not 89, it is 90 degrees. So an obtuse angle is going to be more than 90 degrees. And 120 would fit into that category. It's obtuse. Number 5, this is what is this? Rectangular prism. Okay, and how many faces? So it's got, think of your cube. It's basically the same thing. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. How many edges? So this here is an edge. So count 1, 2, 3, 4. I know this is confusing. I'm sorry. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See if you could find a shape of, oh, hold on. I just had an idea. My idea might not work, but oh, I was going to use my eraser to show you, but I'm using my eraser to prop up my phone. But I've got to have another rectangular prism in here somewhere in my desk drawer. Okay, Well, kind of. So, kind of. This is kind of a rectangular prism. It's a really, really old, USB stick from a long time ago. So let's count our edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 edges. Now vertices. Vertices are corners. Let's count the corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 corners. Now for this, I was going to switch to the whiteboard view, but for your own treat today, not having to watch me write messy on the whiteboard, these ones I think I should be able to do on the paper. I think I have enough room. They're not too involved. So we're going to do this simple long division on the paper. So 3 goes into 1 0 times. 3 times 0 is 0. Now I subtract to find my difference of 1. I bring down this 3. Now I have 13. 3 goes into 13 how many times? We'll think 3 times 4 is 12. So it's going to be 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12. I'm going to subtract to find a difference of 1. Then I bring down this 5. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 3 times 5 is 15. Forgot if I was dividing by 15 or by 5 or by 3 for a moment. So 135 divided by 3 is 45. There is no remainder because I got to the 0 there. Okay, now number 2, I have, how many times does 4 go into 244? 244 divided by 4. So 4 goes into 2 0 times. 4 times 0 is 0. Subtract to find the difference. Now bring down this 4. 4 goes into 24 6 times. 4 times 6 is 24. Subtract to find the difference. Now bring down this 4. 4 goes into 4 1 time. 4 times 1 is 4. Subtract to find the difference. Ta-da! 244 divided by 4 is 61 with no remainders. On to number 3. Number 3, so I'm going to do 8 goes into 6 0 times. 8 times 0 is 0. Subtract to find the difference of 6. Now I'm going to bring down this 3. How many times does 8 go into 63? Now it's close to a fact you might know well. How many times does 8 go into 63? Okay, how many times does 8 go into 63? I'm just doing this because I know there's going to be someone who's like, I'm not sure. And thinking about it, it's 7 times, because 8 times 7 is 56. You might be thinking 8 times, but that's 64. So it's 7 times. 8 times 7 is 56. We're going to subtract to find the difference. So 56 to 60 is 4, 5, 6, 7. The difference is 7. And again, that makes sense because it's almost 8 times 8 is 64, but not quite. Bring down this 2. How many times does 8 go into 72? 9 times. 8 times 9 is 72. Subtract to find the difference. Ta-da, you did it. Okay, on to the next one. How many times does 9 go into 747? So 747 divided by 9. Okay, 9 goes into 7 0 times. 9 times 0 is 0. Subtract to find a difference of 7. Bring down the 4. 9 goes into 74 8 times. 9 times 8 is 72. Subtract to find the difference of 2. Now, bring down this 7. 9 goes into 27 3 times. 9 times 3 is 27. Subtract to find the difference. You have your answer. So it's 747 divided by 9 is 83. On to the other side. so today we are working on mixed fractions. Now, I'm not sure which side came first in your booklet. I'm going to go with 8C first. So if you find 8C, that's where I'm starting. Okay, and then the other side of this page that I printed is 8D. I'm assuming 8C is where we're at, so I'm going to go with that. So what is a mixed fraction? Remember we talked about improper fractions? Well, a mixed fraction is this. So instead of writing 3 over 2, I write 1 and 1/2. So I have 1 whole and 1/2. Now, this is a proper fraction. It's a mixed fraction, but it makes more sense. This is harder for you to figure out, okay, how many wholes are in there. Maybe not with 2, but say you had 8ths or something. It's easier if you know how many whole pies you have and then how many extras. So often we write that as a mixed fraction. It's where you have a whole number and a fraction. A mixed fraction is when a whole number and a fraction are combined. For example, the mixed fraction below says 1 and 1/2. This means there is 1 whole and then another half. On the last page, we learned to write this as an improper fraction, 3 out of 2. See? Now we know that we can write it as a mixed fraction too. And again, this is just different ways to write the same thing. Let's write mixed fractions and improper fractions for the pictures below. Remember that this is an improper fraction when the numerator is larger than the denominator, 7/4. In a mixed fraction, we combine a whole number with a fraction. So we know that 4/4 is a whole, and then we just go 5, 6, 7. Now we know 1 and 3/4. Okay? Confused? I hope not, but if you are, let's go through this step by step. So it says write as an improper fraction. So here we have fourths. So I know my denominator is going to be a 4th. And I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fourths. Or I have 1 whole and 3/4. Make sense? The next one is write as an improper fraction. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as my denominator. I have 5, 6, 7, 8/5. As a mixed fraction, that would be 1 whole and 1, 2, 3/5. 1 whole, 1 and 3/5. 1 whole and 3/5. Okay, now I'm going to go on to my next one. Write as an improper fraction. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 thirds. Okay, and if I'm going to write it as a mixed fraction, I look first for my whole. I have 1 whole pie and then 1/3 of a pie. And that is what is left, or that is what is represented here. Okay, write an improper fraction. 1, 2, 3. So it's split into 2 pieces. I have 3 halves. If I write that as a mixed fraction, first I find my whole number, then I find my fraction. It's 1 and 1/2. For these last two, I'd like you to try it on your own. So I want to see what you can do. Can you write an improper fraction for each of these and a mixed fraction for each of these? If you're not sure of the steps, you can go back and watch me do it, but basically this is without putting a whole number. This is the same thing. So I write the whole number as a whole number instead of counting it as my fraction pieces. So I want you to try those two, please. And you can send this to me on your class notebook. I will check it out, or in a message, whatever works for you. Okay, I was gonna say we're done, but this isn't grade 4, this is grade 5, and grade 5 gets an extra page of math. You're so lucky. Extra math is fun math. So we're gonna do more than 1 whole. It says when we work with mixed fractions, we are identifying how many wholes we have and how many pieces are left over after counting those wholes. Look at the examples below. So here is my example. This shows 1 whole and 2/4 left over. We can write this as a mixed fraction, 1 and 2/4. This one shows 1 whole and 1/3 left over. We can write this as a mixed fraction, 1 and 1/3. What if we have more than 1 whole though? This picture shows 2 wholes and 1/3 left over. So imagine that these are pies and you baked yourself 3 pies, and this is your parent comes home and says, "Ooh, smells good. How much pie is left?" And you'll say, "Well, I have 2 whole pies and 1/3 left over. So I have 2 and 1/3 pies." As an improper fraction, this shows 7/3. So we would write 7 out of 3 because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces, and they're all cut into 3 pieces. So now we are going to practice writing improper fractions and mixed fractions. I almost said proper fractions. Improper fractions and whole number mixed fractions. Okay, for the same picture. So here's our visual model. We put an improper fraction here and a mixed fraction there. So let's go through. So first we start with our improper fractions. So we see, okay, these are broken into thirds. That's our denominator that goes on the bottom. Then we count. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 thirds. Now if we wanted to make that into a mixed fraction, I look and see how many whole pies I have. So I have 1, 2 whole pies. And then how many are left on my incomplete one? 1, 2. 2 thirds. So 8 thirds and 2 2/3 are they're different ways to represent the same picture. Okay, on to the next one. First I write my improper fraction, so I see, okay, these are broken up into fourths. And I have 4, 8, 9 fourths. Okay, it's mixed fraction time. I have 1, 2 whole pies, and I have 1/4 left in the other one. Again, these are the same number, just written in a different way. Now this one, okay, they're halves. So it's out of 2, and I have 2, 4, 6, 7 halves. 7 halves is equal to 1, 2, 3 wholes and a half. Now again, your teacher is going to ask you to do these last two all by your lonesome. So I'd like you to try these two on your own. So write it as an improper fraction. So that's where you look at how many. I'm going to give you a hint. This is out of 2. And then write it as a mixed number. So these are halves. And then for this one, you're going to write an improper fraction. How many fourths do you have all together? And then you're going to look at it a different way, and you're going to count your whole and write your whole numbers first, write them down, and then write the other piece, the fraction piece. Okay, so I hope you understand that with my explanation. If not, send me a message and I will try to help you out. Whew, you did it. You're done for the week for math. Okay, good job. Know that I will be back on Monday with more math. Let me know if this workload was a little bit more manageable. So I had been hearing from some of you that the math and ELA, there's just a lot. So I hope that this was a bit more manageable for you this week, okay? So let me know so I know what to do for next week. But I think that this was a little bit better because there was one week where I made a math video and it was over an hour long, and I thought, that's a lot of math. So I don't want to burn you out on math. I want you to enjoy this. Let me know how it's going. Remember, you can use the class notebook function in Teams to submit your assignment. Okay? Have a great day. I'll see you on Monday for more math.